Hey guys, Dacia Denise here. It is October 30, 2016. That means it's Halloween Eve, or also known as Devil's Night. So I decided to wear my horns to celebrate Devil's Night. It is also a gorgeous day, and it's unseasonably warm. It's like in the mid-70s. It was 80 degrees today. And I live in Maryland, and we do get winters here, so I'm enjoying the strange phenomenon to have a nice spring-like day in fall, late October, Halloween Eve. In this video, I'm going to talk about being a black female atheist, particularly in the United States or anywhere in the world, one of the rarities on the planet. Despite my horns, being an atheist has nothing to do with evil or being a bad person, things like that. I just need to be clear because there are so many people who still think atheists are no good at all. I came out as an atheist, I think it was 2009, at the age of 36. So I haven't been out long, but I just came to the realization that I don't think this God figure is real. How did I come to that conclusion? I realized that my belief in God came solely from people. You know, my mom converted to Seventh-day Adventism when I was about 5. I don't know what her beliefs were before. She was probably like some people, didn't have a particular religion, but she knew something was out there. So I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, and in my 20s, I strayed away from the Adventist church, and I started to question my Christianity. You know, I prayed to God, if you're up there, please let me know, show me a sign, talk to me. I don't see any evidence of you, and all I have is what human beings are telling me, and y'all know how that goes. So I did pray about it, and I was torn because I felt guilty. The worst thing you could be is an atheist, as far as what I thought and what I was taught. I didn't hear from this God, but I still believe there was something out there, even if it wasn't called God. There was some type of creator being out in the universe that controls everything that we do and what goes on the planet and the entire universe. So I struggled with my belief. I didn't consider myself a Christian. I went through Wicca. That was hilarious. That will be another video someday. But I tried being a Wiccan. I studied a little bit on Buddhism. Although you could be an atheist in Buddhist, I wasn't at the time. I was just going and looking through all sorts of religions that may click. Didn't see anything. So after being unsuccessful in that area, I called myself spiritual but not religious. And that worked for me for a time. Then around 2007, 2008, I started looking at forums and articles on the internet. And I started reading these articles on atheism. And, you know, I went into it thinking, oh, atheists are just lost. They don't know what they're talking about. They haven't found God, and, you know, let's pity them. Don't be mean to them, but let's pity them. It was intriguing how these atheists were able to live their life and be completely content and happy even though they didn't believe in a God. So I read further, and what they were saying, it kind of started to make sense. I didn't want to believe it, I didn't want to admit it, but they had some logical points they were arguing. So, my first 2 books that I read was God is Not Great from the late Christopher Hitchens and The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. I read these books, and there wasn't anything, they weren't nasty or mean as far as God himself. They just had logical arguments on why God may not exist or doesn't exist. And I didn't want to admit it, but they were making a lot of sense. So I was reading all sorts of things on atheism, I was reading comments on forums, and then I discovered the Atheist Experience, which is a radio show from Austin, Texas. So I started to watch the Atheist Experience, and I was watching hosts such as Jen Peoples, Tracy Harris, of course Matt Dillahunty, and they always had logical arguments and answers to the questions that was being posed to them. Whereas the questioners, they didn't really have evidence or proof as far as what I was hearing. Their proof was basically it's in the Bible, or God revealed himself to me, God spoke with me. But not only is the Bible man-made, obviously, because it contradicts itself everywhere, but this I felt God's presence, that just simply never happened to me. Then it hit me. I believed in God because that's what I've been taught. That's all I've been taught by people in my country, my family, of course, people in my church, and other people in my life. I've never even questioned my God belief. I've never seen or heard this God. He's never talked to me. I only believed because that's what I was taught to believe. In other words, the only evidence I received was from other human beings. And as we all know, that's not the best evidence. That's when I began to question, and I came to the conclusion that I am an atheist. Being an atheist it's not easy in the United States, and it's particularly not easy in the black community. And as far as black people and atheism, it is rare in this country and worldwide. We are just very superstitious and very religious, and a big issue with that is during the civil rights movement, particularly, our belief in God was melded with our fight for human rights. And it was this belief that we have human rights because God saved us. There's this belief in the black community that God saved us from slavery, and it was because of him that we're no longer slaves. But the way I see it, why were we enslaved in the first place? Why was anyone enslaved in the first place? Why is racism still rampant? I just don't see any sign of this God. I mean, the world's a mess. You've got children who are abused and harmed, and they have to fight all sorts of diseases and cancers as little children. And I say this because people like to throw at atheists, what do you say about evil? How do you deal with evil in the world if you don't believe in a God? Why is there evil in the world? That's what I don't understand. This God is all powerful and he's all loving, and we're nothing without God. Black people love to say that. I am nothing without God. But it's kind of like, wow, this is the best he can do? And I don't have an answer for evil, but people who believe in God, they don't have an answer either as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he's letting it happen. So I don't see why you're so loving. If you could do anything, you could stop this, and nothing's possible without God, yet we have all this crap going on in the world. That's one of my issues with the whole God belief. So, how does it feel being an atheist in general, particularly as a black woman? I'll be honest, it could be isolating. I didn't fit in before even as a Christian, but I definitely don't fit in now. Black people act like I have some sort of disease. They just either shake their head or they just kind of give me the side eye, like, how do you not believe in God? How do you believe in God with all this crap going on? So it can be very isolating. I will be truthful in that. But the good thing is I'm honest. So for all you atheists and other non-believers or other skeptics, I'm making this video partly for you guys because I know how hard it is to be an atheist if you weren't raised in a non-religious home. I know you probably get messages saying there's something wrong with you, you're deviant and you're just evil and you're going to hell. That's baloney. Don't believe that. I hope one day you're able to be an out atheist. That's the best scenario, but not everyone is lucky or in that position to be open about it. People have lost their jobs, marriages have ended, there's issues with atheists being able to keep their children. Just because someone's an atheist and they're not out, that doesn't mean they're trying to be dishonest. They may not be in a position to be open about it. And that is a big problem in the United States. And I'm very much a believer of the separation of church and state. The U.S. Constitution has separation of church and state, and it protects us all. It protects the religious and it protects the non-religious. So that's it for today. If y'all have any questions for me on why I'm an atheist or atheism in general, about being black and female as an atheist, I can't talk, post in the comments below. If you wish to hear more from me, you have questions or ideas on what videos I should do, comment below, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Until next time, TTFN, love and shimmies. Peace.